Tonio?
No.
Wasn't it supposed to be Tonio?
No.
He's in 12.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's in 12. Gustav.
No, I think actually that's it. I don't actually think there's a second spot. I think Corbin takes that spot.
Okay.
If I recall correctly. I have it on the Obsidian Portal. So. I was like, oh wait, I actually have that one on the Obsidian Portal. I don't have the Free Council.
I've given it to you so many times.
Well, you've given it to me 3 times, and the most recent time when I asked for it, you were like, oh yeah, sure. And then I never got it.
But you still have gotten it 3 previous times.
Yeah, and then I didn't.
I'm still ahead.
No, I know. I need it back. At the point soon. I will double check this, but I believe that is the sitting arrangement.
Okay.
Feel free to react appropriately.
Disappointed.
I'm disappointed, but I hide it well.
Kind of like you have a perfect look.
Kind of like I have complete control of my facial expressions.
I imagine that there's no reason to cast magic for a business meeting. And that we've come here to impress, not that.
I will activate Second Sight so that I can keep an eye on spiritual activity in the room while we're here.
Okay.
Now we'll take a step to the left.
And then to the right. And then she died.
Out the door and stand there.
Oh, yeah.
If this 10 explodes into another success, it's 5. But yay, 9. 5. I can clearly see the twilight.
Nothing.
Okay.
In fact, it's warded.
Ah, there are wards.
No, I was right. There isn't a 5th spot. Corbin takes it.
Okay.
Behind each of these people, no one at the moment. No, they don't have them there. So, 5 pairs of eyes turn to left and watch as you guys enter. Where do you sit? What do you do? You take position by the door. Suede comes back around and sits at the empty chair. So
Are there chairs facing them on the other side?
Yeah. It's not like it's oblong table. So presumably you could sit at the other end opposing Corbin.
That is where I would sit.
Or you can sit there.
Does he offer a sit, or do I take a sit?
No, they're all sitting there staring at you.
Then I take a sit.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. I want to do something. It would benefit you.
Pull my chair out?
Yeah. I walk very, well, you take a moment to kind of take it in. You're being a little disappointed.
I stop and make eye contact, and eye contact with Corbin.
I walk straight up directly to the seat across from Corbin and very deliberately pull it out for Vivian. And I proceed to remain standing behind Vivian. A show of Vivian's power. So now they're not sure if I'm a demon or just
It's always better to keep
underneath
them guessing.
your sway.
Always good to keep them guessing. They know you're weird. If they don't know you're weird by now, they're pretty blind.
Yeah. Nero's the only one that knows I'm a demon.
Corbin looks at the 3 of you in turn, and then looks to Suede,
That we know knows.
and looks back to the 3 of you, specifically to Vivian. You know who I am, and by what Suede tells me, I know who and what you are. Furthermore, Suede at the very least has assured me that in having this conversation, we are not breaking our standing agreements with the representative of your kind. That being said, please enlighten the rest of us as to why we're here.
So, prearranged, because, done that. Detective Mathers will produce an old tome for me and set it out. Because I believe in pageantry. Fuck all of these guys thinking about.
Fuck all of these guys.
Open it up, and So I would like to start with a story taken from Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. On the three metamorphoses. Three metamorphoses of the spirit do I name to you, how the spirit becomes a camel, the camel a lion, and the lion at last a child. Many heavy things are there for the spirit, the strong weight-bearing spirit in which reverence dwells, for the heavy and the heaviest are what strength longs for. What is heavy? So asks the weight-bearing spirit, then it kneels down like the camel and waits to be loaded. What is the heaviest thing, you heroes, asked the weight-bearing spirit, that I might take upon me and rejoice in my strength? Is it not this, to humble oneself in order to hurt one's pride, to let one's folly shine in order to mock one's wisdom? Or is it this, to desert our cause, and when it celebrates its triumph, to climb high mountains to tempt the tempter? Or is it this, to feed on the acorns and grass of knowledge, for the sake of truth, to suffer hunger of the soul? Or is it this, to be sick and send away comforts, and to make friends with the deaf, who never hear what you wish? Or is it this, to wade into the dirty water when it is the water of truth, or not repelling cold frogs and hot toads? Or is it this, to love those who despise us, and to give us one hand in the phantom when it is going to frighten us? All these heaviest things the weight-bearing spirit takes upon itself, and like a camel which is burdened, speeds into the wilderness, and so the spirit speeds into its wilderness. But the loneliest wilderness, the second metamorphosis happens. Here the spirit becomes a lion. It will seize freedom and become master of its own wilderness. Here it seeks its last master. It will fight him and its last god. For its victory will struggle with the great dragon. What is this great dragon, which the spirit is no longer inclined to call Lord and God? You shall, is what the great dragon is called. But the spirit of the lion says, I will. You shall lies in its path, sparkling with gold, a beast covered with scales, and on every scale glitters the golden you shall. The values of 1,000 years glitter on those scales, and thus speaks the mightiest of all dragons. All the values of all things glitter on me. All values have already been created, and created values do I represent. Truly there shall be no I will anymore. Thus speaks the dragon. My brothers, why is there need of the lion in the spirit? Why is not enough for the beast a burden which renounces and is reverent? To create new values that even the lion cannot yet accomplish, but to create itself freedom for new creating. That can the might of the lion do. To create itself freedom and to give a holy no, even to duty. For that, my brothers, is the need of the lion. To assume the right, the new values, that is the most formidable assumption for the weight-bearing and reverent spirit. Truly, to such a spirit, it is theft and the work of a beast of prey. It once loved, you shall, as its most sacred. Now it is forced to find illusion and aberrations, even in the most holy of things, that it may capture freedom from its love. The lion is needed for this capture. But tell me, my brothers, what the child can do, when even the lion could not do. Why must the predatory lion still become a child? Innocence is the child, and forgetting, a new beginning, a game, a self-propelling wheel, a first moment, a sacred yes. For the game of creating, my brothers, a sacred yes to life is needed. For the spirit wills of its own will. The one who has lost the world now attains its own world. Three metamorphoses of the spirit. I have told you how the spirit became a camel, the camel a lion, and the lion at last a child. Thus spoke Zarathustra. Corvin, hold on a second.
If you want, you'll have to. It was an idea.
No, I
I
don't
had
need
the
to.
thought of
I
when you
don't
were
know.
listing off all the things of what is strength. I thought you might pause and be like, So what is strength? And I'm like, could you repeat the third one?
Comedy aside, as much as I enjoy a good comedy, yeah. So Vivian delivers the speech verbatim without breaking eye contact with Corbin, even though the book's in front of her.
Do you dramatically flip each?
It's only on it. It's only a single page.
Oh, okay.
For those that can look, I have obtained a first edition copy in German, and then this is in front of me.
Usually, you are maintaining eye contact. You can tell when Corbin's eyes lose focus, and then come back. You can tell.
I'll first address Corbin, my dear Corbin, and then I'll look at the rest of the gathered council. You call yourself will workers. I call you spoiled children. You have never known what it is like to exist without ever having will. I come to you and I speak of horrible things, of the worst kind of hell, the loss of volition. The God machine does not come here to conquer you. It already runs everything. This is not a beast you can fight. This is not a power you can overcome. All we can do is struggle against it, because otherwise it will crush us and make us nothing but its tools. The God machine works in its own will, and in that will it consumes the will of the individual. While you may have been crafted for the machine, and the machine has given you free will for some unknown reason, for those of us who've come from the machine, we've had to tear that will away. I sit before you not as I have always been, but as a new thing, a thing I have claimed, a creation, an individual, a self, where once no self existed, only the will of the machine. I come to you, I bear a warning, for once the Sidus stood apart, unique in all that I have seen of human creation and the many lives that I have lived on this planet, that it alone has been without the touch of the God machine. The God machine returns. It does not return in force. You will never see its face. You will never see its hand move. You will only see the effects that it does. But I sit here and tell you now that the danger is real. Your lives are unimportant. It is the will, yourselves, and who you truly hold yourselves to be as individuals, masters of your arts, on whether or not you will defend that and stand. And I will shut the book. And hand it back.
You're asking a representative body to go to war.
Not to direct war. We cannot fight it. We can only turn.
Cold or covert war is still war.
It's still war.
It's reliance on an apparatus that is not unified.
Can I use Muse to
Detective
throw an
Muse,
idea
because
into
New
his
York
head that he
back
knows isn't his,
He's-
so that
he's
I
using
can
it for
communicate to him
He's
without breaking
stoic,
my
but
cover
very
as a
like,
mundane?
he wants to say something.
I will
He doesn't
allow it.
want to, like, overstate something. Will you?
Yes.
I'm going to use Muse to give you an idea
Ah.
that you know isn't yours, so I can communicate to you.
Someone's
It's not
messing
like-
with my brain!
It's not true telepathic communication, but you still find
Yeah.
yourself possessed of an idea, and you realize that, oh,
And we know that she can do that because we've seen her do it before.
well,
Yeah.
he knows the undead.
So the idea is that you're not asking them to go to war, you're asking them to defend their home
Ah,
by closing out an intruder.
yes. To re-pick up the vigil is the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vigil needs to be retaken.
See, I didn't have a way of sending that idea, so I was going to say something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
So-
that was something that I got kind of like, well, I lost my train of thought there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to
The-
say. Yeah.
So thank you for the muse.
Mhm.
I will I'll count that as part of me being over dramatic
Mhm.
because this is bullshit.
What the fuck, guys? What the fuck?
the fuck? Here I am meeting the most powerful mage in the city,
In a
and
shitty conference
we're in
room.
a shitty conference room. We might as well be at the goddamn Holiday Inn.
The best part is 2 other players at this table have actually seen the room.
This is like a usual.
The actual
No.
room that they held Concilium in is
Would in fact fulfill your need for pageantry.
yeah.
Right.
They said no.
Fuck you.
So I will step back. I will take a moment. I will visibly calm myself, and I will say, I'm sorry. My personal struggle often oversees my judgment. We are not asking for war. This is a defense of your home. This is an invasion, and the tools needed to keep this force out are here in the vigil. The vigil needs to be reformed.
I would use the word intruder instead of invasion, so that
Intruder.
we get step away from the war.
Thank you. Step away from the war idea.
Yeah.
And since you've mused me, I've mused that in there. Because I see war. My character sees war. That's all my character sees. So yeah, thank you for the muse.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not thinking like a mortal squishy being.
It's like Nikki's what Nikki's good at.
Yes. Empathy, which I have none of.
I don't
Except for the things on my stat. I pretend to have empathy. I understand its mechanics. I don't have any.
I fake it.
Fine. Who
I
does
fake it well.
I fake it well too.
Brother Beck is the one who speaks up and says, actually, no, it's not Brother Beck. It's Nero?
Nero's the. I gave Nero plenty of information about the God Machine, what's going on.
No, it's not about that. It's it is Brother Beck, actually. Brother Beck speaks up. He's not forceful about it, but it's not flaming vitriol. It's instead rational discussion. You don't know what the Vigil did to us. I don't care if I'm speaking out of turn. You don't know what the Vigil did to us. You don't know what state that Vigil put us in. You don't know, with all due respect, the history of that Vigil or why it came to be. You were not there. No.
I found out stuff about Selenite.
We know basics.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
We know that they did something really bad.
One person
and-
in this room was there for the climax of season 1.
Yeah.
He's speaking right now.
No, I was trying to confirm
Oh no!
how much of the information of Selenite we got, because I know I got some in my research.
There's a you can decidedly tell that this isn't academic. This is personal.
Okay.
He's not talking about numbers or figures. He's talking about friends he's lost. He's talking about atrocities he's witnessed. And by the way, that no one bothers to contradict him. It's kind of obvious that he is speaking about atrocities and friends. The Vigil is not. There's a reason we do not accept the Selenite order within the Concilium. Those reasons might be the purview of this council alone, as opposed to the body at large, but they are a decision that we have come to as a whole, and not a decision that we are prepared to renege on. Corvin shifts in his seat, and he looks back at you.
Amused?
Yes.
Amused? Amused.
Amuse me.
Yeah. The sigil does not need to be the Selenite order.
Yeah,
In fact,
vigil.
it can't be. You may be the vigil and enact the defense of the city that you feel is best.
Yes. That was my counterpoint.
Oh.
I'm glad we are in agreement.
Sweet. Great minds think alike.
Great minds think alike. If
Too bad there aren't any here.
If I could muse back at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You have the idea of just yes. Oh, great idea. Yes.
So I will say just that. I'm not asking you to reform, and I will admit my knowledge of all these goings on in the past is rather limited. I do know some things, not your personal experiences. For your loss, I apologize.